Okay, so at first I was going to be really bummed to record this video because I thought I forgot to get game audio. And I don't think it's good game audio, but I recorded it, so I'm very happy about that. The other most important thing about this run is that I played it without the game crashing. Now, I don't even know if I'll talk during all of this, but this is not a good run at all. I did not want to upload this. I still don't, honestly, but I can't bring myself to go back and replay the minigames just because I suffered so much. So, it's if someone ever beats my time, maybe I'll get the motivation to play this again. But until then, I just want on SRC so people who actually grew up with the game can play it and like speedrun it. Because I didn't grow up with it, so the nostalgia wasn't able to push me through. And even though I've viscerally disliked playing this one a lot more, I can see that quality-wise, it is definitely one of the better Barbie games. They did at least try with the story and like lots of clues and alternate paths and lots of little mini games and shit like that. So I watched Arglefump's original run. So use his run for some references, except you don't have to save anywhere. I am going to be saving before the chases, but I'm only doing that because when I fail the chases, I want to be able to exit the game and come back in and start from where I left off, but it's not because the game is going to crash. I think maybe the only issue I had was the lighthouse puzzle not triggering correctly, but I honestly may have just left the room too quickly. I don't really think it didn't like crash or anything. So, because my game doesn't crash, I can go to the gazebo. And because I can go to the gazebo, I didn't figure out a faster routing. Because no one else has done it, and so I didn't want to be creative at all and figure it out myself. So basically, I just played the minigame to get through there. I don't really think that's efficient, but I did it. Again, this time is going to be very easy to beat, and I messed up clicking here, even starting the minigame. Because if you go too far off screen, you leave the scene. Yes! But honestly, this is the thing I'm proudest of. So what you'll need to do is get a Windows 95 emulator running, and then on your Windows 95 emulator, make sure you can see exe files on disks that are mounted, and to mount the disk, I'm pretty sure to mount the disk, like, I don't know, I think it was pretty simple. I think I just did it, externally. Like, I did it through the VirtualBox machine hardware. Good thinking. And then, just in my computer settings, you could see the mounted disk, and I was able to click in there and see the D2 extension. So yeah, I don't really know if the time save from doing the game is worth this, honestly. Apparently sometimes the culprit does go to the gazebo, so maybe once in a blue moon this is worth it. I don't think it is, but I don't know. Even though the gazebo crashed and people physically could not do it, I think the gazebo probably is also the slowest routing if you at least do what I did. Here you go, Professor. Also, generally when I split, I try to split when the black screen loads in. Okay, also, we're getting to a chase soon. And also for the scatterbrained, if you want to see the install instructions a bit more specifically, I'll put that in the description and also on SRC. But I am going to be exiting this scene a lot, probably. I forgot if I did the chase on the first try or if it took like 5 tries. But essentially, if you submit a run, I will take out the time where like the final black screen of the game is, where you see your emulator screen. And then when you see like Barbie's face on the load, like I'll take out that 2 seconds of time. When I count for you, I'm not going to do that for my run, because it's a bad run, first of all. It's like super long. And maybe it'll be like a rule where like if your run is over 30 minutes anyway, maybe I won't do that because like you're not going to beat world record if it's over 30 minutes. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Essentially though, if you submit a run, I'd prefer it to be like at least 2 minutes faster. You know, because you at least did one minigame better than me that way.
Let's follow that shadow to the hay. We need to chase down our crook.
Oh, I didn't save here because I suck at this minigame. I have never won it. So, I did try to win. I'm pretty sure I failed. But, yeah. I mean, I guess you could keep going for it if you figure out a technique to beat it, but I really couldn't, and it's not a segmented run like Argo Fumps, so I couldn't just like try 50 times in a row. Also, I tried learning new techniques to beat the other minigames. With this one, I have no idea. I've never beat it. Couldn't help you. For the boat one, what I did was I would jump over 5 waves, and then I would like stay at that same speed for a while, and then at the very end, like 15 or 20 seconds left, I would hit all the bumps. That typically worked, and when I say typically, it worked like 25% of the time. You know, sometimes I failed a lot in a row, sometimes I got it a couple times in a row. Also, sometimes how I beat that minigame was I'd get all 5 bumps, but I'd lose control, maybe like 45 seconds in or something. I'd crash, and so I'd just try to gain speed back quickly, and the way that worked out, it just seemed to like work instantly and not have to like wait super long in the puzzle after gaining full speed. I think that would be hard to replicate, and I think the 5 hump method oh god. I think the 5 jump method is definitely more consistent. And I know I was able to replicate that a couple times. For the 4-wheeler one, I hate it. I think I have beat it before. And the thing is, I tried using a new technique. I shouldn't have done it in a run. I should have just practiced it, but I didn't want to practice it. That's why I'm just uploading this run, because I don't want to practice the minigames. Because these 2 puzzles, the boat and the 4-wheeler one, are 2 minutes long. They're just timed, simple, 2 minutes long. So in theory, you can just stay still until the last minute and then do all the jumps. That's kind of what they recommend you do by saying, oh, just like gain this much speed, don't hit any more bumps, and then at the very last second hit a bunch of bumps. It's that in theory. So I tried doing that with the 4-wheelers, and I think that would work. But I never got the right timing, and I think when I did get the right timing, I hit obstacles, because that one's really difficult, just to hit boxes and all that shit. So you can see right now in this part, I'm trying to avoid all the ramps. The physics don't work at all, but I really do respect her. You know, she's a girl boss. Her motor can just go on a piece of probably plywood, just straight up. I'd say the game ends as soon as you can see the beginning of the final cutscene. Like, the first frame of it or whatever. And to reiterate again, in case I wasn't clear, if you exit after you fail a chase, I'll take out the time that you're on, like, your Windows home screen or your emulator home screen until, like, the first frame of the real menu, like Barbie's face. Whatever the first frame of the menu is, that's a picture. So it won't be much time cut out, but I will do that because, like, it's a speedrun of the game, not a speedrun of how much RAM you have on your computer. Did I win? No, I didn't win. God.
Time to check in with Becky. Do you want to save your game before you leave?
Basically, from that point where it closed to this point. You see what I mean by my emulator? I was just able to have that open in the emulator without power ISO or anything. And maybe you could do that in Windows XP. In my tutorial, I recommend doing power ISO so you can see your mounted disk file. But, you know, whatever. I already typed it up, and that's how I got it to work, so I'll leave it like it is. What else? Okay, I say there's a lot of effort in this game, and there really is. I don't even know what year this came out, but I know it came out in a year that 3D was still new and awesome, whatever. So they have 3D graphics, and they have like multiple 3D puzzles and 3D environments, and that's so cool. And they do point and click. Nancy Drew did something similar with having 3D environments, point and click, and 3D models. However, this game decided to have you move the Barbie model like she was your mouse cursor almost, and it's just like slower. And it's really awkward navigating from room to room because there are no like arrow inputs at all, so it's not like you hit the enter button to leave the room. You just have to like hope your arrow doesn't stray too far to the left. So that's a con. Nancy Drew avoided that by just having this rooms be still images basically. Like they made the 3D model, but they just like took a screenshot of it or whatever the fuck and like stuck it in the game. I know it's more complicated than that, but whatever. In this game you actually walk around in the environment, which is cool, but just it's really awkward. Also, the game crashes all the time. I know it's not really an issue when the game initially came out, but I still want to say that the game always crashes, and I do blame the game a little bit. I feel like it wasn't very optimized in its fucking files or whatever. Also, there are a lot of characters, and this game has multiple endings. So I've said that. I'm going to explain a bit how the game works, because I had no fucking clue how the game worked. And if you're watching this before you play the game, then hopefully I could try to help you. Also, please play it on emulator. Do not play it on your regular Windows computer. It'll crash on the gazebo puzzle, meaning it's going to crash 50% of the time. And I'll explain why it's 50%, I'm pretty sure. So, you start the game. So, the tutorial is just giving you the book, you go to that secret room, and that's where you get your first clue. I'm going to say where you get your first puzzle piece. That's where you get your first puzzle piece. There are 4 possible puzzle pieces to get in the entire game. During a run, you will get 3 of these 4 puzzle pieces. If you're not playing on Windows 95 emulator, 1 puzzle piece will always make your game crash. So from the start of the game, you have a 25% chance of crashing, to a 33% chance of crashing, to a 50% chance of crashing. Because at the very end, there's only 2 possible puzzle pieces left. A safe puzzle piece and a crashing puzzle piece. So when you see that yellow flower pop up on screen, that's the gazebo puzzle piece. And there's like a game FAQ like guide from forever ago. It's not super useful, but the gazebo puzzle piece is yellow, which is the one that crashes. Then there's like a gold puzzle piece for that one, for the piano. Then there's like a grayish one for the mailbox. And then there's a large black one for the lighthouse. And I got really good RNG in this run, because when the lighthouse is last, you don't have to walk to the lighthouse. Because after you do the last puzzle, even if it's like in the gazebo, you still have to go to the lighthouse. So, yeah. That's why it's really good to get the lighthouse puzzle piece last.
Oh, terribly sorry, terribly sorry. I meant to be here for your return.
The only issue with this system is you have these 4 different puzzle pieces, and like whatever, so let's say you're playing on emulator, so none of them make your game crash.
What a puzzle this is.
The clues that are in the rest of the game correlate to that puzzle piece. So let's say you have the lighthouse key. All the clues around you are going to be related to the lighthouse to try and get you to go to the lighthouse. But it's the detective game, so you would think there would be clues that relate to the suspects. Like if it's a professor, you see like notes he was taking, and you're like, oh, those are professor's notes. I wonder why the professor's notes are by this hang glider, you know? And so you talk to the professor. Fuck, you don't even have to talk to the professor. It'd be nice if you could even like collect clues for specific culprits in one seat of the game. So like, I think the only change that would make this game like make so much more sense in my head is if literally at the end of like maybe like the second painting, the first chase, and the third painting, so 3 clues. If there were 3 clues that related to one specific person, but wasn't completely obvious, so let's say it's a rose, So then there's like a dialogue branch, or Barbie's like, hey, what's your favorite flower? And like one person says rose. You know, something like that. I don't know. I guess that's kind of complicated. But that wouldn't involve dialogue choices. That would just literally involve a blank object. And it could be the same kind of object. So like they'll always get a rose first. Like they'll always get a flower first, excuse me. Then they'll always get like a shoe next time. Shit like that. I don't know. Because when I first played the game, I legitimately thought that all the clues popping up related to the culprit. And I was just so incredibly confused. Because I was trying to figure out who it was, like glasses, who has glasses? But it was just trying to tell me to do the tutorial puzzle where the library was. And like, oh yeah, glasses and libraries relate.
You need to take a picture of this for the crime computer.
That's why it's just frustrating to me. I don't know. Also, I know it's not really RNG because my first puzzle was actually the hang glider puzzle, but I do feel like it's good RNG that I got to do the boats twice in a row, because I love the boats. The boats are by far the best. And I'm going to start the chase split as soon as the first thing fades away to black. And this is where I gained all my time. Okay. I guess that makes sense. I'll probably stop talking soon then, because I do not want to sit through like 6 attempts of this puzzle. Because my video, it's 31 minutes long. Oh, God. What misery. This is what I meant by, it'll be really easy to get a far better time than me, because I already reset once in this game, one of the puzzles, and I mean, I'm still 16 minutes, you know? And my routing wasn't good at all. Except for the lighthouse bit, but like, I don't know. That's why I prefer, if you did a run, for it to at least be less than 30 minutes if you're going for world record. Because I'll feel better about cutting out the dead air if it's less than 30 minutes. But if it's like literally like 30:59 or some shit, I don't know if I'll be cutting out that time for you. Because that's just, nah. That's just not really worth it. I don't think he'd ever want to upload a time, but if he ever wants to upload his segment to time on this leaderboard, he could. I mean, because there's really not much demand for segmented games anymore. So, no real reason. Oh. So, we talked about how there are like clues, how the clues don't relate to a culprit. So the clues don't relate to a culprit. And maybe there's dialogue that you have with them that does give you hints as to who it is. I never did that. So, you know, maybe I'm missing that. Maybe I'm wrong. But I get the impression that, the characters have like the same stock dialogue no matter who it is. And maybe I'm wrong. But if that's the case, and there are no clues actually pointing to who it is, then this game is kind of stupid, because there are multiple endings, but there's no way at all for the audience to figure out who the culprit is. It's literally RNG. How unfair is that? Like, a kid spends 5 hours trying to beat, like, the chase sequences, and then when they get to the end, it's just completely random if their guess was right or not. That's shitty. I don't know.
Watch out for the buoys. They'll slow you down.
But maybe it's better to like wait here until like the end, or get to an optimal place with like 6 ramps in a row, or maybe even get to like a place with like 5 ramps in a row, and then like hit 2 to start with, stop, and then do the other 5. That could be something. Not really sure. I definitely think there are optimizations to be made within the minigames, because I just got so frustrated with them I gave up with it. But I think there's potential with this game. I genuinely think there's so much potential. It's just, I hate that I can't be the one to do that for this game, because I've done that with so many other Barbie games. I like finding stupid shit in Barbie games that saves time, but I can't do that here, at least not without motivation, because My only motivation for this is getting the game up for the CD-ROM project. But that's not enough to make me want to actually try at the game. And the thing is I did try. It's not like I didn't try, but like my best, like I practiced for a few hours. But this took multiple days, because at first I was playing on my normal Windows where it was crashing all the time. So I was like trying to find the solution for that, and like to even get the game running in the first place was difficult. It was just a mess. And the thing is, I don't hate the game. On my personal list, it'd be at the bottom, but I don't hate the game. I think it's a good Barbie game. The character models are a bit eerie, but you know, that's kind of expected of the time.
Cool. The crime computer. Do you want to save your game before you leave?
I have nothing else to say except that you can name your character Cuck, Dikla, and Dikla, all of them spelled differently. So, pretty iconic.
Watch out for the buoys. They'll slow you down.
Pretty iconic. I'm gonna stop talking now. I shouldn't have even done a voiceover. I should have stopped after I mentioned the virtual machine. I don't know why I kept talking. I had literally nothing to say. Bye, bitches.
Cool. The crime computer. Do you want to save your game before you leave? You'll need a junior detective badge to play a saved game. Go. Watch out for the buoys. They'll slow you down. There's so much to see here. Cool. The crime computer. Do you want to save your game before you leave? You'll need a junior detective to play a saved game. Go. Watch out for the buoys. They'll slow you down.
I forgot to mention that if you do a run, fuck, no one's fucking watching at this point. I'll put this in the description at the top. You need to either include audio of the game or include like all the video of the game. Don't just cut the menu if you exit, because if you just cut the menu, that's shady as hell. And if your run is like 10 minutes long, I'm definitely gonna be really sus of that. Like if it's like longer, I don't really give a shit. But please include all the menuing in and out. That's why I'm going to cut it out. I should have clarified when I was talking about that. Oh my god. Anyway. Yes. Just include game audio or include you menuing in and out. I know it's kind of inaccessible if you can only use like the game, like the Xbox recorder or whatever for PC. But I don't really know any other solution because it's really important that it's all connected, because the only other solution would be to have like face cam or like audio from a mic live. But if you're recording with Xbox thing, I don't really know if you'd have that setup going. So yeah,
Cool.
that's
Crime
it for
computer.
real.
Do you want to save your game before you leave? Click. You'll need a junior detective to play a saved game. Go. Watch out for the buoys. They'll slow you down. over. You're busted. And hand over that jewelry.